Hello, hello, hello. Crafty Chris here for another Scrap Your Scraps. Tonight I'm going to focus on washi tape. I've been playing with washi tape lately and trying to use it in a number of the things that I'm doing around the house and in my art journals and in my, art, I should say, junker journals and my scrapbook albums. So I am going to show you a couple of things that I'm working on. One of the things I'm working on is I've got my name, um, and I want to dress these up, and I've seen them done with paper, but I thought I would like to try putting washi on them. And I want to do it sort of in a rainbow of all the different colors, like I've got, so far here I've got yellow, orange, red, and purple, and just work my way through the rainbow and see how that works. So these are the yellow choices I have, and I'm going to run them around the pieces as opposed to up and down the pieces because it gets a little tricky. Well, either way it's going to get tricky on the angles, but I'm going to make sure that I finish off in the back so that I can glue it down properly so that it stays. And I'm either going to put matte varnish on it, or what's the other thing I have? I have Distress Collage. Actually, I have the bottle here. Distress Collage. I'm going to try the matte varnish because it is intended to be a finished surface. So I'm going to be putting that on top so that we know washi, depending on the quality, can be either good or bad in terms of its longevity, stuck to things. So anyway, so I'm basically just going to tear little bits of washi. I'm going to start in the middle, or maybe not. Yeah, I'm going to start in the middle because I'm going to overlap them, but I think I need to do a smaller one for in the middle. Do I have one that will fit there and pretty much cover? I'm going to use this one in the middle. It's about looks like a 1/2 inch washi, and it's about a 1/2 inch space on my K, and I kind of want to get that to be covered without much of a problem. And you see how it's going to have to go on an angle towards the back. Just going to rip it off there, and then it goes across the back. And I'm just going to make sure I've got it pushed down nicely. Now I'm going to move up from that, and I'm going to take a piece of washi and wrap it around. Punch that in a little, and I'm going to wrap it around like that. Because these are a 1/2 inch thick, you really want to do the sides because otherwise you'll just see a bland looking white. And I'm going to need a little extra on this because it's going to go are you going to see it? See, this is the tricky part, is I want to see the number, but I'm not going to. Oh well. So I'm going to line it up with the other one. Put this down, line it up with the other one. That looks pretty good. That's not going to wrap around. Will that wrap around? Okay, I need a bigger piece. So I'm going to take a larger piece. I'm going to try and get the 3 to show on this side. That will be good to wrap around. I need it to wrap around that much. There we go. And then this will wrap around there. Tuck down in there. All right, so now we're cooking with gas. Okay. Now see, this is going to have to go there to fill up that. So I'm going to use my pineapple, which is about a 1/2 inch. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. This is the problem with washi. When you've had it sitting there for a while, you have to pull until you get something that's been protected, and then it comes off nice and cleanly. But until then, it's a mess. So we're going to have this overlap a little bit. So it comes up and goes around the back. Try and flatten out any creases you may end up getting. There we go. And I'm going to do that to the other side. Going to need a nice long piece, as we know. Cross it over a little bit. That's going to tuck under there. Really need to have it showing some pineapple. So the first thing I've just learned in doing this is that you want to make sure that your pattern on your washi is small enough to show up when you put it on your letter. Otherwise, it could end up just being white tape. I'm going to trim that off there and there. Get fancier when I there we go. Alrighty, and now I should be able to put this across the top and tuck it around. Now I am going to put it right across the top and tuck it all the way around. It's a little tricky, lining it all up and tucking it. There we go. Not really liking some of the nastiness here, but I think once I get it stuck down, I maybe might paint that yellow or something. Anyway, we'll keep going. So we're following sort of a pattern. Actually, I think I want to put this across here. So I'm going to start from the center and move out. It'll be the same order, top and bottom. Make sure I line it up with the other one. There we go. Don't really care how it looks in the back. It's more important how it looks in the front. There we go. So far, so good. And then we're going to go back to our pineapples. And because it's so sheer, it's going to go right at the bottom of the measuring tape. There go. That covers over there. Covers over there. There we are. And then we have our strip, but it's not gonna fill that whole, no. Not filling the whole section. So I'm wondering if I can cheat. I'm gonna cheat a little here. It's just a little off. So I'm gonna pretend and line it up with the bottom. Because they both have white backgrounds, it's gonna be easier for me to cheat with this, because even though you can see there's a, can't focus, there's a little bit of a lip there. Fold that around. It's like doing a present, trying to get it to fit. Probably going to have to glue those down a little bit separately. And along the bottom line here. Now, what I could have done too is I could have had these arrows go in a different direction to add some interest instead of all in the same direction. And I definitely think I'm going to have to finish this somehow because there are open spots and spaces. Okay, so that's basically it. And now, I wonder if I have a gold that might be wide enough. Got gold here. Is that going to be wide enough? I think I'm going to run a gold all the way around the outside edge. Whoops, I forgot that up there. Only did one side. You're probably at home going, Chris, you forgot a side. There we go. Stick that under my pokey tool. There we go. And wrap it around. Okay, yeah, these guys are not wanting to stick on the rough side. But that's all good. All right. So what I'm going to do before I put the gold along the edge is I am going to seal this. Get my little mini mat. Just cut off a piece of an old mat that was in bad shape so that I would have something just small I can work on with small projects. And get myself, you want to have an old paintbrush to do this sealing part because you don't want to ruin the bristles of a good brush. I'm just going to put a thin coat on first. Looks to me like I am going to definitely have to glue those edges down properly. But at least this will seal the front surface. And then we'll play with the other parts that are a problem after the rest is sealed and won't come off. Yep, part of my bad paintbrush coming off there. and seal it all the way down to the bottom. Oh yeah, some of the washi is not sticking. So there you go. All right, so washi that isn't sticking. Let's put some of the stuff underneath. The only problem about this Duracoat stuff is that it takes a little bit of time to dry, so you have to kind of hold it if you're trying to dry something that you've stuck and used it as glue, which it doesn't really want to do. So now, there we go. I'm going to get a fast drying glue here and just pop this under. Make my life easier. Just hold it for a second. And then hold it for a second on the back. I think I'm going to have to do that fast drying glue in a number of places. Oops. Just get it to hold. There we go. Some more fast drying glue. Doesn't feel fast drying when you're on video. Yeah. Yeah, all my corners need to be glued. So I think what I'm going to be doing next time is gluing them before I put the varathane coat on, because, or the polyurethane coat on, because it doesn't seem to want to stick after the fact. Okay, so we are going to leave that for now. Let it, the polyurethane coat, dry, and we're going to move on to our next color. And I'm going to put gold around it. Hopefully I'll do this one in a way that will be less tricky. Okay. So we're going to start with orange, and again the end is dry here, so it's not peeling as nicely. In fact, it's kind of harsh. This is why I should have been using it up before now. So I'm going to go across the top, and I'm just going to cut in where the pieces are. And I think I'm just going to glue that right away, because this one feels a little bit dry in terms of adhesive. So I think it's better just to glue it while I have it in my hands. There we go. There we go. I'm gonna leave the hangover for a few minutes while everything dries. Put my next row on. Let's see. Let's wait. I don't want to put a stripe with a stripe. So let's put this kind of wavy pattern on there. Gonna need 2 pieces. Again, I'm gonna have to probably glue these down. Yeah. So I'm just gonna put a piece across the front edge. Tear a little bit off that, glue it down. It's not just going to be your average washi tape situation here, because everything needs to be glued, because I have old washi. Newer washi might be easier. I'm going to rip a little bit along there so that it folds under just a little easier. And then I'm going to glue there too. All right. There we go. Just hold it for a second. There, that looks good. Okay. This piece can go all the way around, so it's easy. Let's put a little glue on this side. It's big enough to connect with the other side. And then this guy, I'm going to glue the ends first. Sorry, I'm out of screen. I'm going to glue the ends first on both sides so they poke in first, like that. Just hold it for a second. Oh, I'm still out of screen. I'm so sorry. And then I'm going to fold that under. Just hold it for a minute. There we go. It's starting to work now. Okay. A little tiny bit under there. Keep it flat. Okay. Then our next color, let me move more into screen here. Just put my hand in. Okay, paper towel. Should always have paper towel close by so that you can wipe up stuff that you forget to wipe up and not get it all over your hand and everywhere. All right. So the next color we're going to use is this one. Oh, this is big and fat. I think I'll use that after. Stripe pattern. Okay, we did that one and that one. I think I'm going to go to a stripe again. Again, I haven't used this tape since I bought it. And it's dry. As you can see, I don't really edit my videos. You get to see the good, the bad, and the ugly as much as possible. So that way, if I'm making mistakes or having difficulties, I'm also going to be able to show you how to get out of it, hopefully. That's the idea. Wow. Oh, there we go. Just needed to get to a better place. There we are. Yep, it's still pulling off, but I got enough to use on one side. If I can get it off my fingers, won't stick here, but it'll stick on my fingers. All right. I'm just going to wrap that right around. Tear it on the other side. And it is a little bit dry, so I am going to just take a little bit of glue, quick drying glue, and push it over. There we go. It's much easier on the flat surface than it is on the rounded surfaces, of course. There we go. There we are. And this side is going to be a little trickier. Going to make sure I line it up with the other side. Get the sticky that's on my fingers off. Now that's going to round up that way. So I'm going to take some of that off, and I'm going to put one side down first so that it's nice and glued down, and then I'll fold the other side over after. See, I don't like the way that curls up, so I'm going to take a fair bit of this away. There we go. And now I'm going to glue down here a little bit, and there's going to probably be a fold. Yeah, so I want to have a little bit on there too. And I'm just pushing that right in. There we go. Much better. This isn't sticking. And there we go. Alrighty. And then our next layer, I don't really want to start with that one because it's still too wide. I'm just going to use this one. And this one I'm going to have to trim. Let's make sure it's nice and even. So I'm going to break in here, but I'm going to use scissors because I don't want to risk it not breaking clearly. And then there we go. That's awesome. And everything is sticking nicely with that one. Inside it's a little bit rough, so I'm going to put a little bit of glue in both those parts. Push it down, hold it for a second. There we go. It's good just to have a little bit there too. There we go. Just needs more time. All right. Now I'm going to put the big fat guy on there. Ooh, this one pulls off nicely. So I'm going to need at least this much. And I'm actually going to run it along the bottom. I'm going to trim into the corner so I can be able to turn that under a little bit better. Push that around. Push that around. Now here, I'm going to cut into that corner as well. So that comes around nicely. And stick those two pieces down first. So I'm holding that. And then I'm going to stick these little pieces on top, over top. There we go. That turned out pretty good. Put some pressure on it. Now on this side, I'm going to have to cut into this corner as well. Now I can wrap this piece. And I think I'm just going to trim off the end there. Oops, don't rip. There we go. Fold this guy over. Take a little bit off the end there. Sometimes you just have a little bit too much. And then glue that edge down by folding it over, and I'm going to hold it for a minute. All right, that looks pretty good. I'm actually going to trim this because it's not necessary on this side. There we go. All right, looking good. I'll be able to show you the gold on this one, I think. So we need to run this on the bottom edge of the letter. And it folds nicely along that one angle of the R, but because it's a serif, that means it's got little hooks on it. It doesn't fold as nicely over the other side. Just going to trim that right off. And then this, I'm going to fold around. Just trim off this stuff. There we go. And a little bit of glue here. Hold it down. There we go. And that R turned out very well. So now I know that this gold is a very dry, what do you call it? Washi tape. I don't even know how much I have left. I may not have enough left of this. I think I better check that first. It's quite a bit, but it is a dry washi tape, so I am going to use some glue to go around it. All right. So I'm basically going to, along the front edge, dot glue down, and then just randomly on the back edge, but for sure along the front edge. And a little bit in the other areas. And I'm going to go down to the bottom of my first sweep. So I'm going to line this up a little over the edge on the side, so there's a little extra here, as close to the edge as I can get on the front. And just make sure, push it down. And along the edge, whoops, make sure it stays in there. And then I'm gonna have to hold it there. Right to the edge. There we go. Fingers are all sticky. Okay, so now I've done that much. I'm going to do a little bit more right along the edge, a few dots here, right along the edge, a few dots inside. Down to this point. Because this is going to be up on a wall, I want to make sure that it's finished looking. And I'm not pulling it away from any place. And get that as close to the edge as possible. Stick it in there. There we go. Line it out. Stick it in there. And see, you can see how the edge is nice and gold and the front is orange. Give that a minute just to sit. Make sure I'm close to the edge and everything is secure. All right. And then I'm going to continue. So for sure along the edge, and a few dots in the background. Okay. Now, I'm going to put my finger under there so I don't lose that corner. And then, whoops, around the corner here. Make sure I'm on the edge. Make sure I still have all my spots nicely stuck down. Okay. Now see, this is bubbling up a little, so I have too much. There we go. Shift that down a little. Shifted it down just a little too much. There we go. And then I just have this corner. So I'm going to take that little piece there, add some glue, fold it over, hold it for a minute. And then finish the glue here. Oy, 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 oy. Make sure I'm still enclosed well. That looks pretty good. And just finish it off. All right, so there is our gold-edged letter, which is what I wanted to show to you on the K, but I had to do the K to learn about what to do on the R. Now, I will go inside and do the same thing, but I won't keep you on. I'll show you, that'll be in the pictures at the end of, or at the beginning of the video when you actually see this. Okay. Beautiful. Look at that. Sparkly pretty. Now, I will finish those off and show those to you in the opening of the video. I wanted to show you a couple of other things that you can do. So I have this light plate that I want to make pretty. And I want to do this in reds. And this, I'm not sure if this was red or pink. It's more of an orange. I should have put it in the orange pile, but oh well. So I have reds here. And I just thought of something. I want it pretty. I like these guys. So you can do this horizontally or vertically. And because my butterflies are vertical, I think I want to start vertically. So I'm going to wrap my light plate with pretty butterflies. Just tuck it under, and I will seal this as well. I'm not going to worry about the underside because it'll be up against the wall, but I'm going to seal the surface. Oh, such a shame because it's pretty. I'm going to do oranges and maybe some red on this one. There we go. We got enough. So I'm not going to worry about the screw hole either because that is going to be taken care of with the screw. Let's stick this underneath there. Now, washi likes to stick to plastic far better than it likes to stick to wood, which was the other item I was doing. So I may not even have to glue any of this. Let me just, all right. Orange, I think I'm going to do a bit of a red underneath this one. It's kind of reddy pinky, which I'm hoping will go along with the colors I already have. And I think I want to put some gold flower in this one as well. Now this has got like a reddy pinky color. Just want to make sure I line it up properly so you don't see any white. Oh. There we go. Wrap that around and stick it inside. And I'm going to throw some gold in just because we can. And which way? I want you this way. Tuck that under. And let's see. Do I want yellow? No, that's not enough yellow. Maybe too much yellow. What else do we have in the way of red here? Oh, I have purple. Oh, I have other purple too. Let's see. Let's go over here to my other colors. This might be a little too pale. Let me see. Yeah, that's just a bit too pale. So, looking at that one, which is kind of pretty. It's got a little of everything in it. Make sure I line up. Tuck that under. Let's put a bit of purple. That's pretty. Try some of this. Get a little bit of that flower up there. So I'm going to cover a tiny bit. of the orange. There we go. Tuck that under, tuck that under. Gonna snip on either sides here because I want it to go flat over the edge there. There we go. Tuck it in. Don't need that little bit. Don't need this little bit. All right. And these are just gonna turn under there like that. Look how pretty that is. Oh my gosh, it's so much fun. And I think I want to balance maybe with a little bit of blue at the bottom. The bluey green. But maybe bluey green with a little bit of black in it. There we go. This is fun. So I'm going to fold this over. You see the back doesn't look great, but it won't matter because the front is going to look great. Cut in on my top edges, and I don't really need that much on here and there. Just going to lay that flat over top and then tuck that in. There we go. Hold this up for a second and tuck it in. Now, how much fun is this? Look at how cute that is. And just to make it easier, I am going to, on the inside of here, I am going to cut diagonally. I should probably do it from this side. Diagonally from this corner to that corner. And then this corner to the center. And this corner to the center. And then I'm just going to tuck those under so that when I put the light switch through, it will hold those small pieces in place. And there you go. And then the screws just go in the screw holes. How cute is that? All right, so that's another project we did. Move some of these out of the way. So another thing I had was these little cards. And, you know, they're kind of cute and all. I hate to waste them, but I'm not really jazzed by them. So I'm just going to change them to a totally different card. Now, the thing I have to think about, though, is do I want some of this on the inside? No. I want plain on the inside. So I'm going to cover the entire card, top to bottom or side to side, whatever I decide. Let's do some purples in here. Okay, so again, struggling with the old washi that hasn't really been used in a while. Now with the washi on paper, it's it doesn't need to be, or it could be glued down if you want to along the edges, but it would be trimmed right to the edge of the paper. And if you're concerned about the washi peeling up, oh, come on. This is frustrating. There we go. Just a little bit. There we go. Now we got it rolling. Ah! Do I have enough? Nope. Okay. We're not going to use that one for now. It's too frustrating. So let's use a different set of washi. That came off really easy. So I'm just going to line this up with the bottom edge. And like I said, you should seal all your washi. Look what's happening. I'm getting an interesting little under pattern there. And I just tucked that washi underneath. I'm so used to doing it, and I shouldn't do it. So we're going to trim. Now we don't have to trim all at once, but I have to trim because I tucked the washi under on this one. I'm going to peel it away. There we go. Just trim that right to the edge. Okay, and I just keep layering my washi. I can find the opening. Okay. These are thin washies. You can certainly use thicker washi. I'm going to throw in a little bit of gold flower there. And then go back. Oh! And then I'm going to throw in some butterflies. And I'm going to go back to gold. Flowers. Lining it up. And then a little bit of this thin washi again. I think it was the light pink that I haven't used yet. And that kind of takes us to the fold. All right, and then going back to, now this is the fold, so I am going to, okay, wait a minute, so yeah. So I am going to turn it upside down because it's going to be on the other side. So the words need to register properly. And then I am going to do the stripes. And I can do the stripes in the opposite direction, which will mimic the front exactly. And then let's start with reversing again. So going up, we're going to do the words again. Upside down. Okay, and then after the words is the pink. So I'm creating my texture with my colors and my variation of washi tape. Like that. Oh, I'm going to put that the other way around because it does have a direction. And then the butterflies. Now the butterflies go in both directions, so that's all good. There we go. And then gold again at the bottom. Now, before I put this down, I'm going to put a little bit, like just a thimbleful of the glaze on it. There's my brush. There's my brush. And, oh, my brush has gone hard. That's one thing you don't want to have happen. Should have put that in water. Let me just put a little bit more than that, one dollop. And what I'm trying to do is get the washi stuck to each other so it doesn't peel at the edges. That's why I'm doing this. Okay, close that, put this in water. So if I don't have a water jug near me, I just wet it so that it's nice and wet. And then I'll rinse it out afterwards. And I'm just going to quickly dry this with a dryer. It dries pretty quickly. Dried already. Then I can peel it up and trim it off. Now I'm going to trim a long edge, so I want long scissors. Okay. And now you can decide which side of the card you want to use as your actual message card. So let me just get this off my fingers. Got washi tape everywhere. So you can use this side that has more gold on it, or if you flip it over, you can use this side which has more words on it. So you've remade this card from this into something that's prettier. I actually like lots of gold on mine. So you've changed a simple plain card and made it something a little bit more spectacular. All right, and is that all I have for you tonight? Oh no! So I bought these little notebooks. They came in a pack of 2. They're a brand name, but you don't have to buy brand name. You can go to the dollar store and get them too. And again, using the same technique, you can cover these and make these pretty. For this, I am going to use all my funky washi. Make sure I've got it all here. And I am going to make funky washi backgrounds. So, I have this big bold black. It may not do so well because you'll see those little things underneath. Yeah, so I think I'm going to go with the more solid washi. This one's a little too thin and I don't really want to see cute little rainbows underneath. I want to see nothing. So I've got these washi containers that you unlock, and you can take out your washi and use your washi for other projects. This has got a butterfly wing on it, so I kind of want to have it. No, it doesn't matter. It goes both ways. Okay, but the text goes a different way. So I am literally going to run it from corner to corner on the front and corner to corner on the back. Okay, so let me just get that down because I am going to seal it afterwards as well. Okay, that's one color, and then I'm going to undo it again here. And let's see, I'm going to do plain ordinary thin blue one. It has the word artsy on it, which is kind of fun. I'm going to kitty corner that right up to it on that side. And maybe do similar on this side. All right, then I'm going to take some of this brownish one that has paint drops and flowers, and looks like it coordinates with that orange that's already there. Okay, and run that down here. And because the thing I like about this is the color on the washi changes throughout the washi, so you don't really ever know what you're going to end up with until you unroll it and stick it down. And let's see, this is purple with a flower on it. Oops. Just line that up with there and there. There we go. And this is just purple on this end. Awesome. Okay. And then I have purple with a bigger flower. And I'm going to run this right across the two sides. So now I'm just realizing I should probably have divided this book in half so that it would be weighted equally when it's flattened out. There we go. So I wouldn't end up with weird bulginess on one side and not the other side. Okay. And I'm going to add a little bit of purple on this end here so I can get this purple flower on this end over here. There we go. All right. Make sure everything is pushed down. Okay. And I need something down the center. Have I used this one? Nope, haven't used this one. So we are going to have this one. Oh, I know what I want to do. I'm going to kitty it up to that one. Actually, no. I'm going to kitty it up to that one. And then I'll just run this artsy one down there to finish it up. All right, that looks pretty funky. So we're going to get this guy again, and I'm going to put a couple of layers or a couple of bubbles of it, and just make sure my brush, the water is out of my brush. And because I had kept it in water, it will be fine. Oh, forgot a corner there. Put artsy on there. There we go. And again, I didn't cut anything. Going back and forth. A little heavier coat on this one because it's going to get a lot of movement. And just going to lift it up. Oh no, I want to dry it first before I lift it up. So, move all your washi out of the way. You don't want it to get heated up. And it really doesn't take any time at all to dry this. I remember when we were kids, we used to get textbooks and use paper to make paper covers to protect the textbooks. I wish they would have let us use washi. It's so much prettier. Just get that spot dried up. Okay. All right. So that's it diagonally. Okay, it's still a bit wet, so I'm just going to leave it another second. And I'm going to do the final one vertical. And this one I think I'm going to do with stripes. Lots of stripes. Except all my stripes have white backgrounds. Oh, I know what I can use. I have these travel ones. Maybe I'll do it horizontal. And I'll make this a traveler's notebook. I think I like that idea. So I'm going to go down right to the bottom. Make sure it's lined up right along the bottom. And the clouds on this, it won't be too bad if they show through because it's a travel journal-y thing. Okay, and maybe I'll just run across a little bit of purple. Oh, it's doing the same thing. There we go. A little bit of purple stripe. There we go. And these all have, and I think I'll go back. Oh, here's another travel one. Is this different? No, it's the same one. Yep, that's the same one. Oops. Try not to let washi get it all curled up. Ah, like that. Make sure it lies down right next side to this one. There we go. And then I think I'll put a pink line. Okay, and then I'm going to go back to this one, which is this guy here. Oh, Okay, there's that. And then I'm going to do a purple line. And then I'm going to do yeah, it's not always good for you to rip off washi tape because you can end up with a mess. I think I'm going to go back and do 2 rows of this. There we go. Then I'm going to do a purple line. Okay. And then I'm going to do another row of this. So we have 1, 2, 3 rows of that, 1, 2, and 3 rows of this. Not that it makes any difference. I have no plan in my head. I'm just throwing it down as I go. Okay. Then I'll do a pink line. Okay. How we doing? All right. For some reason it doesn't seem to be lining up, but we'll see what happens after. And then I'll do 1 more of this. There we go. Okay. There we go. Let's do our quick sealing. The brush, I didn't leave it too long that time, so it's all good to go. Stick the washies together. Just maybe run a little bit along the edge there. And you want it thin, you don't want it too thick, or else it'll never dry. Wipe off your extra. Spray some water on it so it stays wet until you need it again. There you go. And dry. So we're almost at an hour and a half of video. Wow, that dried really quick. Okay, I'm just going to put that aside. And we've done several projects, or started at least to do several projects. All right, now again, we're going to do long cutting. So I'm going to use my long scissors. There we go. These have rounded corners, so I am going to have to deal with that. once I get them all trimmed up. So I'm just going to go around the corner. This has a bit of a damaged edge, so it allows me to fix that. There we go. Well, the washi is certainly sticking together. And on my brush here, or on my scissors, around the corner. Just noticing I missed a spot here. And get a little closer here, around the corner. And there we go. And there is our little fancy notebook. Is that cool or what? I love that. That just looks all kinds of fun. This one we can do too. Let's trim it out. This has a weird corner. We don't have to do the bottom because we lined everything up at the bottom. Just have to do these funny corners that aren't really rounded. They're kind of odd. Whoops. Don't cut the side of your notebook. That's not a good thing. Around and get all that stuff in there. And I accidentally trimmed in too much on this, so I'm just going to give it a little straight go. There we go. So it's cleaned up. And there is a totally different one. So this and this are exactly the same kind of thing, but we use different washi. It gives a different look to it, different theme to it, and it is still lots of fun. All right, so I am going to stop there. I'm sure there's a million things you can cover with washi tape. I've seen it done to bottles and boxes and bags and walls, and I've seen you know, circles cut out of paper that has been covered in washi and then used as decoration on a wall. So there's a million things you can do with washi. So if you have some sitting around and it's doing nothing, add some color to your life. And I will see you next Thursday. Bye now.